everyone, this is Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm here with a review for No Man's Sky. That's right, I've been pounding the hell out of this game, and I felt like I finally got far enough through it to where I can make a decent review. With a game this overall friggin' size, there's no real way if you figure, oh, I'll just wait until I beat it in order to do the review. It's gonna take a long time for that. Even if you are able to do like the one guy did and actually kind of cheat the game to get to the end, it takes forever. Now that is where a couple things are with this game that I definitely have to say where it shines. Well, you consider a group, a indie development group called Hello Games, which consists of 14 people made this game. So you got to give them credit where credit is due. The overall size of over 18 quintillion different planets you can go through that are actual real planet-sized planets is very impressive in itself. Now it does play out like a first-person survival exploration game. Now the survival aspects, now keep in mind everything I say about this review is in my own opinion, and your experience with this game can vary drastically. I mean, this is a very polarizing game. A lot of people trash it, a lot of people fucking love it. And it's definitely up to my opinion and your opinion if you play the game. Because after all, in this world, if we were all the same, it'd be a boring fucking world. Now, my personal experience with this game so far is it is a very entertaining kind of game. However, the whole plot behind it is just you want to get to the center of the universe, and when the game first starts off, you are crash landed by yourself on your own planet. Now, it seems to me as if like this game does not need to have a server for online support, because they even said odds are you'll never come across another real player in your entire playthrough with the game, because the way it sets the game up, it'll place you on a planet on the outside of the complete fucking universe. So to me, other than updating names and stuff, you're never going to see it. So I thought that was kind of stupid for them to have an online server for this, because you're never going to really run into anybody. You're not going to find anybody else who named their planet. You're not going to find their animals they've named. You're never going to experience the same thing anyone else in this game experiences. Now, in one way, that is a major fault, and another, that is a fantastic experience, because this game does do one thing that's phenomenally perfect, and that is the overall ability to make you feel like you're the only one in the galaxy and you're truthfully on these different planets and you're exploring them for the first time. I've had several planets that I've come across that, left me in awe of just the total design of them and just everything that was on the planets, including the life forms. I mean, it's really interesting in that aspect. Now, as you can see here, like if you actually want to go and craft something, because it does have a rudimentary crafting sort of thing, as you progress through the game, you'll find different sort of schematics and designs that'll teach you how to build something. And naturally, like everything, you've got to mine the ingredients needed to make it. Some items you can buy from the store that you can find that's either inside of bases, or a lot of the buildings you go through will have it looks like a the computer thing on the wall that you can click on, and it'll allow you to buy and sell your stuff. Now, once you have enough stuff collected, and if you actually know how to make the item, you can make the item. Now, one major thing that I've noticed that I hope you guys pay attention to is when you go to make an item, make sure you're making the item in the right screen. Now, if you're wanting to make an item, considering you're on foot, so a lot of times I did this a lot, there's these chips that you use to override a lot of stuff in the game. Well, if you happen to make those chips on the screen of your ship, you can't use those when you want to use them. So you've got to make sure when you're making the item, you're making it on the correct screen. Like if it's an upgrade for your ship, do it on the ship item screen. If it's an upgrade for you or your suit, do it on the suit screen. And if it's an upgrade or something for your weapon, do it on your weapon screen. Because if you do it on the wrong screen, like I said, it won't work. Now, overall, the grandness of this game is like one of the few things I can say that the hype it does stand up to. The overall size of it, the ability to fly from planet to planet, and it's seamless. I've noticed occasional burps in it when it's like loading stuff, but other than that, it is seamless. There's no real load times other than slight burps here and there. Now that is very impressive. The overall setup of the game, otherwise, in my opinion, is not. While it's still a very entertaining game, it does come down to the same thing on every planet. You'll come to a planet, you'll land on it, you'll gather stuff that you can use to make another warp drive. You'll find these things here, like and you click on them and they'll teach you different words of different languages of the alien races. I think there's like 4 or 5 alien races in the game. And as you go through, if you collect enough of them from going to these spots here, these knowledge stones and what they call monoliths, you'll learn the language enough to where when you find one of the aliens, you can kind of understand what they're saying to you. You know, so what I can say a lot of times too is pay attention to what it says. It'll normally clearly say right in what they say to you what they want. So if it's telling you something like you think you're hallucinating and there's spiders on you, what should you do? Should you knock them away, or should you just be patient and stay still? Pay attention, it said hallucinate, which means it's not really there. By just paying attention to slight details in the wording of stuff, that'll help you a lot in figuring out how to get the best items and bang for your buck. Now, as you do go through, you will have to constantly refill your health pack, refill your safety things, your shield, and that's one of the major disappointments I've had. Is like if you go to a planet that has acid rain and it's hurting you, it has the same effects if you go to a planet that's super hot. You have a meter there. The only difference is the color of the meter that slowly depletes. And fortunately, most of the items you need to actually replenish it are very, very common on just about every planet you go to. There's only certain elements that are kind of difficult to come by, but other than that, it's not that hard to come by and constantly keep your shield up, keep your fuel full. The hardest thing is once you actually figure it out is how to build warp drives in order for you to warp to other planets. Without that, it will take you forever to get to another planet. So basically the whole plot is to get to the center of the universe. So you jump from one planet to another, collecting stuff, finding stones to teach you different alien languages, meeting up with aliens to trade and sell stuff with them, upgrading your weapons and your armor and your abilities, making another warp drive so you can warp to the next planet. It's pretty much rinse and repeat. Now keep in mind, this has actually been dubbed Minecraft in space, and it does have very similar setup to it. In fact, I've only died once so far in the game because it's not that difficult of a game. And when I died, I was in space. I got attacked by like 4 pirates. And the one thing is you if you get blown up, you lose everything that's on your ship. If you get killed on foot, you lose everything that's on you at that time. Now, fortunately, if you're able to go back to where you were when you got killed, you can collect all your stuff back. Similar, just like Minecraft. And the other thing I kind of noticed too is you can befriend creatures in the game, which is fantastic. But when it kind of comes down to it, other than them sometimes finding stuff for you or maybe protecting you from another creature that's aggressive, they don't really serve much of a purpose in making friends with the creatures. It's a nice little addition, but it doesn't really add overly that much to the game. The main meat of the potatoes of the game is, like I said, collecting, mining stuff, upgrading your stuff, keeping your health up, and progressing from planet to planet. And as you go through, you also come across to where you'll have like Atlas trying to contact you, the way you can try to solve the mysteries of the universe. So I mean, and the battles in space are not bad, but they're really kind of streamlined. You consist of having your your ship has pulse blasters and a laser, and you can switch them by hitting the triangle button on the PS4, and you can do that also with your weapon when you're on the ground as well. And it's not really a worthwhile thing to get into a fight with a lot of people, because downright they'll kick your ass and kill you unless you can escape from them, which is kind of hard to do. I don't really recommend it until you've upgraded your character enough. Now, as you go through, you also find starships and stuff that you can actually go inside, and trade. And once again, as you progress and unlock more stuff, you can get farther throughout the certain levels. Now, overall playability of the game, it plays fantastic. The controls are great. It does have kind of an odd cursor thing that seems like it should be used for a mouse in your item selection screen where you move it with an analog stick, kind of similar to what Destiny has. And it's not that bad once you get used to it. It's not really anything earth-shatteringly difficult to get past. Now, all in all, do I feel this game is worth the $60? Actually, yes, I do. Even though it's a bare bones kind of game, the overall size and scope and the amount of time it took those 14 people to make it, even though it's an indie development team, I do personally, in my opinion, believe it does warrant having the full $60 price tag. Now, if you don't like games where you go around and have to manage your resources and mine a lot, you're not going to like this game. But if you want to feel like, Captain Kirk from Star Trek, boldly going where no one's ever gone before, to land on a planet to experience new life forms and to mine and meet alien races as you progress through the center of the galaxy, you'll have a blast with this. The only thing I recommend is do it in short bursts. If you play this game more than 4 or 5 hours at a time, it will burn you out with its repetition and you'll hate the game for it. But as long as you pace yourself and you go little bits at a time and you like this kind of game, I guarantee you'll actually like it. Now, my final score of this game is I am giving it a 7.5 out of 10. Now, the reason why I'm giving it only a 7.5 out of 10 is even though the grand size of the game is phenomenal, how they were able to pull it off, it does come down to the same thing, that is a very bare bones kind of game. What you do is fundamentally going to be the same on every single planet you come to. And after a while, you'll even kind of notice as the planets kind of start all looking the same as well. They'll have slight variation with the vegetation and creatures, but all in all, it's roughly about the same. Now, I want to thank everybody out there who subscribes to my channel, and I want to say thank you so much. And please, if you will, go ahead and hit that like button. This is Nate Dogg saying peace out.